Now, this won't be a Yuji's curse technique explain video like other people like the headline and stuff, like we actually know what's going on, when in reality there were only like 2 instances where we seen this curse technique being used, and we didn't get much explained then. Actually, nothing was explained. We only had to get the context clues of what was really going on, which that wasn't much either. We were only shown fond memories of what never really even happened, but what were the 2 things that were similar in those 2 instances? You're right, before the technique was used, both Todo and Chozo fucked Yuji up, which obviously consists of coming into direct physical contact with Yuji, which makes sense because he is a close combat fighter, which brings up the question, how can a memory manipulation ability be used during combat? I mean, this is a battle shonen, right? But the rare times we see his technique, it seemed to end battles. I mean, with Todo, it didn't end the battle, but it did put it to like a screeching halt. But with Chozo, I mean, to say the least, he was distraught. Now, let's say in my hypothetical world that Yuji is able to further understand and even grow upon his technique to a point where he'd be able to fake out his opponents mid-combat via memory manipulation. I'll give you an example. Now, say Yuji is fighting an opponent. It doesn't have to be anyone specific, a Kotsu. No one specific. And so say the opponent sees Yuji like running towards him, because he's a close combat fighter, so he's gonna be running towards him trying to like close the distance, and he gets to the opponent and the opponent sees that Yuji is going for like a right hand punch. Like this is what the opponent sees. He's going for a right hand punch, so the opponent anticipates it and tries to like block a left, right? But then the opponent gets hit on the opposite side that he was guarding, because Yuji put it in his head, or his or her head, whatever, that he was going for that right hand punch via memory manipulation. That would be cool as shit, right? Just faking out his opponents via memory manipulation, so that not only is the opponent left wide open, but Yuji gets a free hit. And you don't want to get hit by Yuji, just especially open without being guarded and not knowing it's coming. This is literally the only way I could see a memory manipulation ability being used during combat. Like, if he's actually able to do this mid-combat, this would be his own broken ability. Like, I feel as if in Jujutsu Kaisen, everyone's ability is like fairly broken, and if it isn't broken to start off with, you can train it to be a broken ability. And this would be another thing in Yuji's arsenal, like plus the Divergent Fist that he can now control, and hopefully Sukuna's curse technique that he'll learn. Something like this could easily bump him into like a special grade 1 with Naobito, but during the story right now, like what's happening right now, the grades don't even matter anymore, because they want Yuji out of the freaking sorcery world. They don't even want him alive, so he's not gonna go to the Jujutsu school anymore. So you know what? Scratch that. He doesn't worry about grades anymore. But anyway, I'd love to see an ability like this being used like the way I just detailed it, instead of how it's been used, because there will be no use for him to fight anymore just for it to be as decisive as it is now. You get what I'm saying? And I don't think my idea is a dumb one per se, but the likeliness of this actually going down on a scale of 1 to 10, in my opinion, probably like a 5 out of 10, because I don't know who would even train him for an ability like this. Like how would this even come into play for someone to be like, oh, this is how you use this ability? Like, niggas don't even know what he can do. He doesn't even know what he can do. It would be cool if a Kotsu trained Yuji though, like, but then again, like I said, I don't even know how something like that would come into play, especially with how Yuta's trying to kill Yuji. Jesus fucking Christ. He's not trying to kill Yuji. I don't think he is, at least. People think he is. I think that he's gonna fake it until he makes it. Okay, so this is what I can see going down, because in my head, Yuta is still trying to convince the higher ups. So I can see Yuta actually fighting and bringing Yuji to near death just to further convince the higher ups and the people around Yuji and Akotsu that were once friends with Akotsu, that he's on the higher up side of trying to kill Yuji. So then just a picture Yuji like dead. He's not really dead, but he looks dead. And then like later on, someone from Akotsu's side like scoops him up just to like take him out of the battlefield, so that they can then like later on figure out that Yuta's on his side and train Yuji. And then we get like a training arc with them, and then Yuji starts to learn more about his curse technique and just curse energy more in general, because Yuji did Black Flash left and right, but it didn't seem like it did much with his understanding of anything really. Like Mahito got a full transformation from doing Black Flash fucking twice. He did it twice and he got the whole transformation. Like, where's Yuji's transformation? Where's Yuji's transformation? Like, Watch Yuji transform into Mahito. I am you and you are me type shit. I wanted to reject you, but you were right all along type beat. Nah, but tell me what you guys think about Yuji's technique and how it could be used in combat, other than what I said, because it's my idea. And if you guys have any ideas of how something like this can be used during combat, a memory manipulation kind of ability, or if it'll even be used in combat. Do you think a coach is gonna be the one to train Yuji about all that stuff, or like who do you think it would be, or who's more suitable for that kind of task? Because I would say Gojo, but this nigga is sealed. Other than that, that's all I really gotta say about this topic in general. I don't have his technique explained or whatever the fuck's going on with YouTube and Jujutsu Kaisen right now. But yeah, like the video, all that YouTube shit, and I'll catch you guys next video. I'm trying to do a reverse curse technique kind of video, or just positive energy. So if you guys want something like that, like the video. Just like I said, all that YouTube stuff. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.